Hey everybody. Yes, I'm back. This is Ursie and welcome to the Ascension Playground. If this is your first time dropping in, I'm offering these free mini starseeds galactic astrology readings to see if we can tune in as I practice to become a practitioner. We're tuning into this idea of a quantum soul guidance program to understand where you've been, not just on the Earth's timeline of my past, present, and future lives on Earth, but looking at more holistically and in a quantum perspective of the galaxy and beyond. Okay, so today I'm doing a little mini reading for Christine Lightwalker. Love this. I'm going to call you Lightwalker. Let me start by sharing my screen and we'll look at your astrology wheel. Okay, here it is. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's go over. Hi, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. This is Ursie, and if this is your first time dropping in, I just love sharing these free mini galactic astrology soul readings. It fills my cup of tea. In fact, I haven't even stopped chattering about this since I've discovered Julia Balaz's online classes through Starseeds Teachable. Anyway, this little mini reading is for Christine Lightwalker. Hey, Christine, you persevered. So you jumped to the beginning of the line. Thank you for finding a way to reach out to me to share your natal information. As many of you know, I am studying to become a practitioner, and I'm taking my time because I love getting to know you and see if I can be of any support for making sense of our galactic astrology. So if we think about the Earth and how so many of us started with, is there reincarnation? Have I had past lives? Maybe I'll get an Akashic record reading, right? So we start there, but it's very Earth-based. What Julia Balaz does in her Quantum Soul Guidance online courses is that she opens up the perspective and the narrative to include fixed stars and this idea of a galactic past, present, and future. That our soul doesn't just incarnate in human bodies, but there could be other places we've been. And without getting too creeped out about what our bodies might have looked like on this planet or that planet, it's okay. It's energy, right? And it's narrative. So let me share a little mini reading for Christine Lightwalker and see how you feel with this kind of interesting prose. I'll start first by using a Western astrology with a quick look at Christine's chart using what's called Astrodienst or astro.com. All right, let's see. I'm going to tuck this a little bit like that. And what do we see first when we look at this chart? Well, obviously, there is this big cross. See this red cross, Christine? Boom. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But that is called the Grand Cross. Whew. All right, here's how your story starts. I always like to look at the ascendant, and we have the ascendant in Aries, the first house. So the ascendant in Aries, the ruler of Aries is Mars. And so because your ascendant is in Aries, we go and look for Mars, and your Mars is in Scorpio. Deep feeling water, deep, 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 really deep. So you might meet people in the world and you wonder, how come you're not as deep? How come you're so shallow? And you may have a little difficult time, especially on your in seventh house, one-on-one partnerships with like marriage or significant others. Okay, so we started with the ascendant. And oh, wouldn't you know it, you got this planet here called Eris, E-R-I-S. And Eris, she sits right at your ascendant. In fact, when you look over here, you can read 7 degrees of Aries. And then we find your ascendant, 5 degrees, 51 minutes. So basically 6 degrees. You're 1 degree from, Eris is 1 degree from your ascendant. What that tells me, let me stop sharing for a moment. Ms. Lightwalker, what that tells me is how you show up in the world. Okay, what's guiding your ship? You chose, before you incarnated, to have a very interesting and challenging life. This is not the easy peasy, I'm gonna sit back, sit by the pool, watch the daisies grow. No, 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 that's not the life you chose. You invited Eris, the planet, the feminine planet of, let's just use the word discord and strife. That sounds rather negative, but I looked her up, and guess what? Here's what I'm going to show for you. Eris is actually the patron saint of, get this, chaotic creation. All right, I'm going to get biblical on you. In the beginning, in Genesis, we know the story of Adam and Eve, but some of us didn't know and weren't taught there was another mythology story about Eris. No, that's Lilith. I better erase this part. Okay. Let me find a way to cut that part out because I got Eris and Lilith mixed up. Going back to Eris, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Eris, the patron saint of chaotic creation. That is how you show yourself. And Aries is, I am asserting myself. And what did you choose? You chose Jupiter to also be there. So you're not going to be like squeaking, I am here, I am chaotic creation. No, you've got the megaphone. Jupiter is saying, hello, here I am. And do you see how this little red box is here? This is holding it in conjunction. So your Jupiter is expanding Eris, and your Jupiter is expanding your ascendant, how you're showing up. So look at the qualities of Aries and Eris, right? I think that Mars and Eris are brother and sister, the warriors, the feminine warrior, chaotic creation, something brand new wants to come through you. Okay, then we look for your sun. Here's your sun. Very interesting. Look how big the 12th house is. You have a hidden 12th house sun sitting with your north node and Mercury in Pisces. My goodness, do you have troubles speaking out? Would you prefer to speak to yourself or stay hidden? But look, it's trining Uranus in Cancer at home. So maybe there are times where you're usually maybe quiet mostly, but then you'll erupt and, come out like suddenly with some incredible downloads. If you work with your North Node, why you're here, you're helping add light into this dark house of Pisces. And look how even this whole sign of Pisces is hidden. It's been intercepted. So your ability to speak in your North Node, this is going to be, and your Sun, this is all going to be a very complicated, complex chart, I would say, as far as what you chose to do. Again, you didn't choose the easy peasy path. You chose the, hey, I can take and do that, and I can give me that, and yeah, keep throwing it at me because I've got this grand cross right here. I'll get to that in a minute. But here we will look next to your moon. Okay, what's having fun with your moon? Your inner self. You've got your moon in the 11th house of friendships in Capricorn. So isn't that interesting? Did you build step by step because of your associations and affiliations, your vocation, whatever you chose to do out in the world? But you bring with it a very strong sense of feeling in Capricorn, step by step progression. All right, so we've covered the hidden sun, your moon, your ascendant. Let's get to this grand cross. Because remember, I've been sharing, like usually there's grand trines, grand crosses. Well, here I'm going to check out my book. Here's what it says. The Grand Cross, formed from two oppositions at right angles. Check the box. You got them. All right. So it suggests a high energy dynamic, generating immense work and effort, but without the escape route of an apex planet. So does that resonate with you? And generating immense work. And what are the planets involved? Uranus, Jupiter, or the ascendant, Eris. Let's see who else is playing with us. We've got Saturn. Whew. And then it goes and squares up to, dun, 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 looks like the moon. Or is it the wound Chiron? Yeah, it's your wound, which is conjunct your midheaven. I'm sorry to be spewing out so many little words here. What this is really saying is the wound of the career house, is opposing Uranus in your home house. Did something suddenly happen at home that gave you a wound within the 10th house of vocation? And here's the other opposing. As you assert yourself big time, big time, did you find that you had constrictions within your one-on-one marriage or partnership? I'm talking deep partnership, the one-on-one partnership. Interesting things to sit with, right? So I'm going to go look over here, and it looks like you've got a lot of cardinal energy. That means you like to initiate and start things. And then you have some fixed areas where, yeah, you're holding the line. And here's where you're mutable. You're most mutable in water, how you're feeling. So you have the ability to shift and change within your feelings, but may not be so much as far as, how you see structure or communicate. Let's see. No, your communication, your Mercury's in water. But yeah, expansion is very much, let's go, let's do this. Okay. Again, remember, I am a newbie coming to Galactic Astrology, and I'm not a professional astrologer. I just love to play with the stuff. So let me move next to your galactic star seeds. Let's see how the natal chart from Western astrology, let's see if it's informed by the galactic. Let me pause for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go, Christine Lightwalker. First we move, well, first of all, let's embrace all of your constellations. This is family. Your family comes from Lyra, the constellation Aquila, and Andromeda. Look at boom, 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 3 Andromedan star nation family members. We mentioned Lyra. You've got family roots in Virgo and in the constellation Boots, Canis Minor. All right, but how to play this game? We first look to Pluto to look for where did you originate in this solar system, and we see it blank. So we're going to hold on to looking at Virgo as a constellation and Boots to find your origin story. Okay, so that'll be the next step. We're just going to write down origin, Virgo or Boots. Then we're going to look for your most recent lifetime. We start with the sun. We don't see anything. We move then to the moon. Your most recent lifetime where you may feel affinity would be with the stories about Lyra, the foundation of Lyra, the founders. Okay, I could go on and on there, but this is how we start. We look at our oppositions and conjunctions, and we try and see what their narrative is. So you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 constellations to go research and see if any of those narratives feel good. So what you do is you go Lyra, starseeds, traits, and characteristics in Google. And that search will bring you to a host of information, and you can use your own discernment as to whether the information rings true or not. Next, we're going to go up here to the extended report where I've clicked this box and that box. And when I click this, dun, 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 I'm on the Star Seeds calculator that Julia Balaz and Hector created. This gives me a more in-depth view of your soul journey. Here we go. Now, let's just look holistically at your chart. You might notice your North Node, South Node, your Midheaven, and Mercury are blank. What does that mean? Well, if you decide to take Julia's practitioner's class, you'll learn that typically when something's blank, there's not a focused effort there. It's not that it's empty, it's just you've got work to do elsewhere. Let's look at Neptune. You've got, some things to think about. What's the paragraph that your Neptune in Libra in the 7th house of marriage say for this lifetime? Okay, so we're going to go look at where you came from. In your origin, we were looking at Virgo and Boots. So here we go. We've got Virgo conjunct Spica, the fixed star Spica. It is conjunct your Neptune at 1 degree 42 minutes. All right, and we're going to compare that next with another conjunction to Arcturus, because we can find our soul origin with only the aspects of conjunction and opposition, not a square, not a trine, not a sextile, but conjunctions and oppositions. So these are both conjunctions. This conjunction is 2 degrees 6 minutes. What we do then is we choose the closest aspect to, we call it within, the closest orb within range to Neptune, and that would be Virgo. So Christine Lightwalker, your homework also includes, if you choose to, go ahead and focus on Spica or Spica, the fixed star Spica as a star seed. Go find out what that means, because that is your origin. When you came into this solar system, this is where you first started. And that first origination story, your origin as a Spica star seed, that carries with you throughout all of these journeys. All right. Look, even your sun line is empty. So there's going to be a concentrated effort in other areas. Now we're looking for your most recent lifetime, and here we see Lyra, conjunct the Ring Nebula, and conjunct the fixed star Sulafat. Now the Ring Nebula is pretty amazing. That is a portal and stargate. But Sulafat is a definite fixed star. So we're going to say your most recent lifetime was in Sulafat, including that it's only 54 minutes right next to your moon in Capricorn in the 11th house. All right. So as you may have heard before in other readings, count your constellations. Look how Lyra is showing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. If you pick up the book by Lissa Royal Holt called The Prism of Lyra, that shows the galactic history and journeying with one consciousness towards the next. And Lyra, you'll find, is a foundation. This was the beginning of it all. All right, let me go back now. Let's see if any of that informed our chart for the natal astrology. Here you can see I put in Spica and Arcturus. And once you know it, they're really, really tightly close to your Neptune. Your Neptune is sitting in a beautiful balanced Libra, and that's Libra's home in the 7th house. But again, an emphasis on marriage. And I mean marriage in terms of it could be you and a therapist. It could be you and a close business partner for decades. So it's not always marriage. But it's speaking to holding in balance a very specific relationship. So wouldn't that be interesting if you are in a very long-term relationship to look and see if they have Arcturus and Spica also prominent in their chart? Okay, because remember your Spica was conjunct and Boots. So these were both, look at this. It's really tight in the house of relationships, but here's the story. It's opposing Jupiter in the 1st house. So this house says, I am. This house says, we are. But when you look at your North Node, what are you really here to learn? It barely made it over the line, right? this huge 12th house. So you are here, if you look at just the nodes, here's one story and see if it rings true. You are here to learn in the Virgo house, where Virgo is hidden and suppressed, of how to do the dailies of day to day, how to bring the dream and manifest it into earth, into matter. You know, Virgo is earth, Pisces is water. So earth and water like each other. What is it in the dream, this hidden dream of yours? What is it that wants to manifest? And are you willing to speak it out into the world? Even though your Pisces, see, this is intercepted, even though your Pisces is hidden, you have a hidden house and hidden signs. So, but you're being asked, because you agreed to this game, you agreed to be challenged by the hiddenness of this, and to eventually, when you're ready, to come out and shine that light, focusing, of course, on this grand square, or this huge square, right? That is going to be like, okay, well, is that the cross you're going to bear? Are you going to be nailed on it, or are you going to resurrect from it? That's an interesting question, but you've got Eris helping you with creative chaos, the chaotic creation. So let me stop sharing. Sorry if that got a little long-winded, but you can see the more I do of these, not only am I losing my voice a little bit, but I'm starting to go, whoa, I can start seeing the tea leaves. So I appreciate your saying yes and letting me practice. If anybody decides to take the class with Julia, she's got 4 classes. One's a practitioner, 2 are astrology, and 1 is learning how to get in touch with your higher guidance. If you want to help support the playground, use the affiliate link because I've posted it, and I'll post it in the bottom of the description of this as well. It's going to help build the playground, and it'll help encourage more people to come on in. The water's warm. There's a lot to learn here. I know it's not for everybody, so pick up what you enjoy and let me know how it goes by writing a comment after you listen to this. Okay, everybody. See you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.